What's up, mob? Hey, man, I saw so many of you guys in Daytona and I loved it. I appreciate everybody that came up and said hi. You guys are awesome. And I'm completely humbled. I love that you guys are watching the channel and paying attention. It means so much to me. So thank you guys for that. Tom Vialle in the 250 class. So this will be the 250 breakdown. I did the 450 breakdown from Daytona on Sunday. Then I came home and I was so beat, but I was like, oh, let me just take a quick power nap on Monday afternoon, like 4 o'clock. I went to lay down just for like a half hour, 45 minutes. And then I was gonna do the 250 video last night. Well, guess what? It's Tuesday. I slept 15 hours. I don't know how these guys do this every week. They're absolute savages, but it's no wonder they get sick all the time. When you're tired, run down, going in the airport, in these lines, taking flights across the country, it's pretty gnarly. I mean, my flight was 5 hours. And if those of you guys that met me, you know I'm really tall. It is not comfortable being in a chair for 5 hours. My knees are killing me. But I still gotta talk about Deegan. Just about died. Whoa. The Supercross Futures was madness, but there was some real stupidity, and I'll explain a little bit of that. And there was even more stupidity in the 250 main. Jalek Swole will know about that, but we'll get into all that and more.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
So the conditions in Daytona made it the most dangerous Supercross track I've ever seen. No, it wasn't a bad design. It wasn't anything like that. But when you have a track, and the riders were calling it quicksand, you cannot judge the jumps like you normally would. It's almost like it took us back to the 90s when you really had to set up for the triples. You couldn't just roll up to it and give it a little brop to get over the triple perfectly. So these guys' timing was out there. I've never seen so many crashes on a triple jump. Triple jumps these days are kind of basic obstacle. People hit them and, you know, they're just about trying to scrub. Rarely do you see accidents, but so many guys were checking up. They were just getting landed on. It was brutal. But in these conditions, Tom Vialle used his GP experience to get his first ever Supercross win. He looked, I mean, dare I say perfect out there. Nobody was perfect in these conditions, but Tom Vialle was so smooth, calculated. He managed his bike. I don't remember his bike smoking like a lot of the other guys who just rail on that clutch, rev it up. That GP experience really paid off. I was surprised that Max Anstey didn't do the same, but he had some issues on the start. By the way, changing the tire right before the race has got to be one of the dumbest moves I've seen a team do in a long time. It is a tiny advantage, but now you got your guy all hyped up, you make all these changes. Just do a burnout on the grate, or if you really don't want mud in your tires, skip the hot lap. Speaking of skipping the hot lap, that's what Cameron McAdoo did, and he got out there and railed. So not only was his rear tire clean, but his front tire was clean, so he could get on the brakes in that first turn, and the bike handled the way it was supposed to. Now, if this was a twice as long of a straightaway, that rear tire might have made a bigger difference for someone like Max Anstey, or what we saw in the 450 class with Jet. But that short straightaway, I think people underestimate how important that front tire was to be somewhat clean by the time they hit that first turn. McAdoo rode really good, held on for second, but he just didn't have, I mean, he makes too many mistakes compared to when you got a guy like Vialle who's perfect. But hey, great job by McAdoo, got a lot of points. He's right in this thing. His teammate, Seth Hamaker, quietly snuck in there, got past Deegan, and got third. So we had 2 out of the 3 podium guys were Pro Circuit Kawasaki's. And hey, that team's dominance and the bad season they had last year is over. They are right back in it all the way around. Haiden Deegan had a wild day. That crash he had in practice was terrifying. I happened to be in front of the triple, so I didn't see it at the time when it happened. All I saw was the aftermath of that bike just flipping and him rolling off. I thought that might have been his season. I didn't know how bad it was. And when they red flagged it, I immediately assumed something was pretty severe. But I was relieved to see him finally get on the bike and ride off, but his ass had to be hurting. No matter how smooth it is, if you downside a triple on your butt like that, your tailbone, your butt, good thing he's young and good thing he's tough. And that kid is tough as nails. He has got the heart of a champion, and he'll be in this thing till the end. It's going to take a lot to get rid of Deegan, but I couldn't believe that he went out there, salvaged 4th place on a night where he probably, I mean, he had to be hurt. He's coming off that wrist injury. Now his butt hurts. Dang, Good on Deegan. Pierce Brown on the TLD, gas. He was out there flying. He looked really good all day long. Salvaged a 4th place, but honestly, any of these guys, I'm sure they're all glad if they were inside the top, top whatever. If they just got a decent performance, I'm sure they're all glad to just get done with it, get out of there in one piece, and move on to Alabama. But good on Pierce Brown. He was riding really good all day. Hey guys, they had the Amateur Supercross yesterday. And if you want to know about amateur racing, go over to Coach Rob's YouTube channel. Not a lot of people do this, and I think it's awesome that Coach is doing this. They're breaking down amateur racing and explaining everything, how to do it, what to do. So if you want to know about amateur racing, go subscribe to his YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the bio here. But yeah, check out Coach Rob's explaining of amateur racing. Epic Garage Designs has the coolest stuff. And I'll tell you what, the garage in Daytona looked badass. But I'll tell you what they were missing. A lot of those guys need Epic tracks. It would have made it a lot cooler. Hit up epicgaragedesigns.com and get your Epic tracks or anything else you need. So Cody Shock and that Club MX team are under the radar. And I was really disappointed in the broadcast for not focusing more on Cody Shock. They kept saying, oh yeah, he's in 4th in points or tied for 4th. He was not. He was 3rd, tied for 3rd with Daxton Bennick. And that's a big deal. That 3rd or 4th, like to be 3rd as a privateer team in a guy like Cody Shock, who's coming back for some injuries. He was let go from Phoenix Honda really late in the year, so he had a hard time finding a team. Luckily, Club MX stepped up, and it's working out awesome for both of them. And he also came from the back. He was moving up towards the end of that moto. He didn't luck into a 6th place. He earned it. He made some mistakes early and then fought back. I'm telling you what, he gets more and more confidence every single week. Cody Shock's somebody to watch. Another guy to watch was Jalek Swoll. And we had reached out to him earlier in the week, and I was joking. I texted him, are you alive? And he started laughing and said, yeah. But he ended up riding. He was banged up from the crash that he had with Max Anstey the week before. But Jalek toughed it out on this nasty track. He looked to be cruising in for an easy 7th place on the last lap. I mean, Max Anstey was pushing him, but he had it. They had that split section. So he takes the inside after the tabletop. And I'm sure to his surprise, there's a medical mule driving in his lane. What are they doing? Come on. Are you serious? Like I told the fan, like I said to the fans that ran on the track, can you wait a few seconds? I don't think driving the mule at that point would have made much difference in safety other than not hitting a rider. Come on, guys, you got to do better than that, Daytona. I was very disappointed in that. That actually caused him to check up just a little bit and allowed Max Anstey to make a run at him on the finish line. And if you don't think that was a little attitude from Swoll, because he was pissed off about what happened the week before with Max Anstey, how they came together, I think that was a little bit of payback there. He knew exactly who it was, and hey, Jalek Swoll and that Triumph are looking good. Hopefully he can heal up this week, and I think he's going to get on the podium with that Triumph before this year's over. And watch Jalek Swoll and that Triumph team. I'm impressed with them. That bike looks good. Speaking of Max Anstey, man, he looked so good in his heat race. And with his GP experience, I expected a performance kind of like Tom Vialle in that main. I figured he'd be right there. For sure. I would have, if you told me he wasn't going to be on the podium, I'd be like, you're crazy. He looked so smooth and so good, but he just had some issues early in the race. Maybe it was due to that stupid tire change. They did his tire change, spiked his heart rate. And if you saw me at Daytona, I was with Ride Strapped. Chris, his dad Don, and Richard. There was the 4 of us. We stayed at the Airbnb. We had the barbecue. It was so much fun. You want to talk about non-stop ball busting, hanging out, bench racing. It was so much fun. Thank you to everybody who came to the barbecue. And yeah, just go check out ridestrap.com. Get yourself a shirt. They're only $19.99. Let's try and get these shirts out there in the Supercross. Let everyone know we're here and we're not going anywhere. And I also met everyone from Precision Transport. Pat Madden is an absolute savage, and they're a family-owned business. They believe in customer service, affordable pricing. If you're shipping anything using a truck, hit up the Precision Transport family. That's pretransport.com. And it truly is a family-run business. The Supercross Futures was absolutely insane. I rewatched it on the broadcast, and you didn't see all the carnage. There were dudes flying left, right. I mean, it was scary. My question is, why the hell didn't they go to the faces of the triple jumps and the finish line where, guys were struggling? It was tough. Like I said, it was hard to judge those triples because you didn't have that last minute pop because they were riding in what the rider said, quicksand. And these poor futures were jumping on each other, jumping left, jumping right. I'm glad I haven't heard of any serious injuries. I know there were a lot of DNFs, and they didn't show a lot of that on the broadcast, but it was scary. Every time somebody hit the triple, we were all focused on that. I almost didn't watch as much of the leader race as I should. I didn't realize Drew Adams made as many mistakes as he did and stalled it, but Drew Adams looked really good, and he's got a future in the sport if they can figure out how to stop him from growing. He's 15, but he looks like he's going on 35. He's a big dude, and if he grows any more, he won't be able to ride that 250. And power matters on that 250. Just ask Garrett Marchbanks, one of the most talented riders on earth, but his size really made it awkward for him. And it's hard to enter this sport and go right to the 450 class. Those guys are fast. So hopefully Drew Adams can somehow stop growing. And then Davies from New Zealand, who rode the Anaheim 2, he won that race in the futures class. And I thought, I wonder if he can ride mud. Guess what? Cole Davies can ride the mud too. They said it's kind of a test he's going to ride this year and see if he wants to go after this Supercross dream. Guess what? I think you should. Cole Davies, get your butt over here. You are a talent, and I want to see you guys over here racing. You're following the Lawrence brothers from that part of the world. I know New Zealand's a different island, and Ben Townley is, kind of mentoring you. But all of us Yanks, as you guys call us, we look at New Zealand and Australia. You have the same accent. We think it's the same place. So Casey Cochran got third. He's an awesome rider. He's coming back from some injuries. I was surprised when he said he needed more points to get his pro license. I'm really confused by that because last year he was your futures champion over Daxton Bennick and Chance Hymas. How on earth is there a point system that the guy wins the actual finale championship and he doesn't have enough points to turn pro? That's just dumb. I don't understand it. Let's fix that. And let's also add a specific way. I understand the first year or two where they're inviting specific people because they were kind of testing out. Now you've got a proven format that is awesome. Let's allow a specific qualification system to get these guys into this race. My buddy Caden Lewis went all the way to Florida, raced the Arena Cross, wanted to race futures. He raced it in Anaheim, but they wouldn't let him. How does this guy not allowed to race? Maybe, how about we bump it up to 40 riders with 2 qualifying sessions and we take the fastest 22 like real Supercross instead of just showing up with 22 and ending up with like 18 because we always lose a few in practice to the futures. Unfortunately, these kids send it, they're full of piss and vinegar and they go for it and we lose a couple in practice every time, plus they're inexperienced. And this is 450 news. I know it's a 250 video, but I'm disappointed to hear Dean Wilson broke his shoulder on the last lap. Very disappointing. It was his last time at Daytona. And to end on that note after riding solid all day long that sucks. Poor Dean Wilson. I hope he gets better and gets back to Supercross before the season ends. He's a great guy for the sport. I even saw him at Arena Cross the night before watching all the guys. He is a gift to the sport and I hope he can get back and I hope this isn't the end of his Supercross career. That'd be a disappointing way to go out. And then that got me thinking too, like, wait a second, his accident happened on the last lap or second to last lap. What if that was really serious and they had to get the medical crew out there when all the fans rushed the track? That would be a really tough situation. So Daytona, while I loved seeing people run on the track and the celebration, this is a different type of sport than basketball and some of these other ones. That could have got really dangerous really fast. And the more I reflect on it, I'm really kind of changing my tune. While I like to see it, man, I don't want to see anyone die. I don't want to see a hot 220-pound motorcycle clean out a fan. We don't need that. As cool as it was, the risk doesn't match the reward. So unfortunately, these people that ran too quickly, you might have ruined it for everybody and you might have ruined something that would have been pretty cool if you guys just could have waited until all the bikes were off. And then, then it would give medics a chance to get to any downed riders. I just think 90 seconds makes all the difference and you guys kind of blew it. All right, shout out to my buddy Devin El Puppy Jr. We were hanging out He texted me, he was gonna come to the barbecue, but he stood me up. I think I know why. We had talked about after the barbecue going downtown, and they got the world famous slingshot where it launches you up into the air. We were gonna go do it. I think he chickened out. El Puppy, what happened? But here's some footage of me doing it, and yes, it scared the crap out of me. So if you want a good laugh, check out my face through this. Wow. Holy shit. Holy shit. Woo! Yeah. Wow. Welcome to Daytona. Holy shit, I didn't know it flipped. Ah, woo! See, look at the view. Yeah, this is awesome. We can try to keep it straight if you want. No, we're good. We can do whatever you want. You want to flip? I don't give a shit. Do whatever you pick. Alright, let's flip on this. Okay, we'll flip on the next one. Ready to swing it? I tried. Woo! I can pull my shoulders out of socket. I was gripping so hard. Woo! Wow, that was awesome. That was so cool. Yeah. That one looks scary. Bro, would you ride that one? No. I don't like the loop-de-loops. I get dizzy as shit. Ride it with me, bro. No.
Did your pants? It sucks. Never mind then.
And finally, if you need a real estate agent, please hit me up. I pay for my media by doing real estate. Real estate helps me out anywhere you are in the country. I appreciate you guys. And if you're buying a house, let me refer you an agent in your area. Yes, I get a piece of that when that happens, but that's how I'm making a living right now. So if you guys could do that, I would appreciate it. And I thank you guys. Cooksey Mob is awesome. And also, don't forget to subscribe. I'm not sure why, but people are still getting unsubscribed without them doing it. I had a long talk with a lot of the guys at the barbecue. If it's happening to this many people, I don't know what's up, but if you could just double check that and then resubscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks guys, and I'll catch you later.